Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Alison.
Hey now.
Greg, what are you doing here?
Hey, what do you mean? Alison,
Where'd you come from, Greg?
I came from the world of Childish, and I just want to make sure that your listeners know that you're just as wonderful on the other podcast you do.
What if they don't have kids?
Don't need them. You don't need them. A lot of our listeners actually tell us they don't have kids. We talk about sex.
We talk about all sorts of dirty stuff,
Yeah.
but also parenting stuff.
Yeah, so.
Check out Childish. New episodes every Wednesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Maybe I should have tried it next. Alison Rosen is your new best friend. Alison, with her the good times never end. Alison Rosen, doing the wavy pencil dance again. Alison's your new best friend.
Hey, everyone. Hi. Hello. Welcome to another episode of Alison Rosen is your new best friend. This is literally the fifth or sixth time I have tried to start this show. Do you remember, if you are of a certain age, back in the day when you would record your outgoing answering machine message? Actually, I guess you still do this on your phone sometimes. You record your outgoing greeting, and then it's so easy to just stop and start over. And then you end up doing it so many times, similar to like trimming your bangs, where you end up with very short hair. This is the audio equivalent of really unfortunately short bangs. Anyway, welcome to another episode. It's a special day. It's Daniel's birthday. Normally I would talk at length and I would talk an uncomfortably long time and then I would bring him in, but I have lost faith in everything. This attempts to start the show. They have broken me. I could detail what happened each time. It started with, we thought, you know what? Let's just let Wendy be in here with us. That was a mistake. And then, what happened the second time, Daniel?
Was it the window?
Oh yeah, the window was open and it was loud but those are just bad preparation.
You forgot that. You forgot a piece of paper.
You forgot a piece of paper inside.
I don't know.
And then it's like, well, if it's sort of like I was late to lose my virginity and I didn't need to be in love with the guy, but I just felt like I've waited this long. It may as well be somewhat special. That's how the beginning of the show was. Like the fourth and fifth times, I'm like, these lack a certain something. I'm not, you know what? We've started over this many times. We may as well be perfectionists about it. I don't know what that is. I think there's a fucking airplane on top of us.
There's an airplane festival happening.
It is the Flight Fest. There will be no sixth time. So if this goes sideways, the listeners I love and the ones I tolerate that's the version they'll be getting. Hello, welcome to the show, Daniel.
Are we recording?
Let me check. Yes, we are.
Hi.
This is for real. And I've even got a list of things to talk about. I'm all fired up.
Sweet.
And the reason they tune in, they tolerate the interviews. They tolerate the other stuff that they get. But what they really tune in for is she in the studio? Is she in the house? And what's going on with the termites? And let me tell you, it's not a termite update. It's something similar. It's adjacent. In the trees in our backyard, we have like just thick, just beds of spider webs. Just like, it looks like someone took marshmallow goo or like fake like cotton and just smeared it along the trees. And it's really ugly. And I was looking it up today. And Daniel, what do you think creates those webs?
Spiders?
Wrong.
Well, I don't know.
Webworms. They're caterpillars.
Really?
And they spin a web. Or they eject web goo. I don't know,
Why?
but it's caterpillars. Why do they? I don't know, but caterpillars make silk. So
Yeah.
they make it in
But are they trying to catch bugs with it?
Or is it just like when we fart? Like, does it just come out of them?
Is
It's
it
just a
caterpillar
product?
farts?
It might be the solid version of caterpillar gas. I don't know what it is. But anyway, now that I know, we can get rid of it. There's even like devices. It looks like a toilet brush for like cleaning it up. Anyway, let's move on from that. Let's tackle the second most important thing, which is you can tell. Well, that was one of the beginnings that we didn't use. It was me saying, you can tell from the smile in my voice. Unfortunately, the cumulative effect of all the tries of starting has wiped away the smile, and now there's just my general ennui and existential dread. But at one point, there was a smile in my voice, and by hearing it, you would know I'm not in the house. We're in the studio. I was excited about that earlier. Now I don't really give a fuck anymore. But it is Daniel's birthday. How are you feeling?
Well, I just admire your ability to just plow through.
Despite the fact that I am in this mood, or
Just-
what? Because truly,
Where
life
other
is-
people would have stopped and started
know.
over, you just push through. You just push through, and I appreciate that about you.
I have determination.
Mm-hmm.
I've got my eye on the prize.
Which is finishing recording.
No, it's the eye.
What is the prize?
Just starting recording.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure.
And I've got the eye of the excuse me. I've got the eye of the tiger and the voice of like a 98-year-old man. Hang on one second.
Okay.
What does eye of the tiger even mean? Because tigers.
Predator.
Oh.
Like you're a super predator.
Why is it not eye of the lion, which is the apex predator, or like the ultimate predator?
Because it was a song, and it probably sounded better.
It's the eye of the lion. That sounds good.
The tiger is stronger because it has the
Eye
consonant.
of the tiger. Eye of the lion.
No,
I
softer.
like eye of the lion.
You do, but it's not as punchy. Tiger.
Eye
Lion.
of the kangaroo. Kangaroo. Eye of the. What's like a real punchy animal name besides tiger?
Turtle. You got the. I have the eye of the turtle.
It's the eye of the turtle. Yeah. I feel like I've got the eye of a snail sometimes. This just came up on the Thursday show with Jackie and Tim. Do you know where snails' eyes are?
Where their eyes are?
Yeah.
Are they on the end of the stems?
Yes, their antenna. Like eye stalks. Mm-hmm. That's not where I thought. I thought they were like more on their face. Their face thumb. Thumb
Nope.
face, foot face.
Nope.
Anyway, how are you feeling about your birthday? How are you feeling in general?
Not great. I'm not thrilled about this birthday, to be honest. I mean, I'm turning an age that is the oldest I've ever turned.
I mean, every year, arguably.
It gets worse every year.
It does get
gets
a little
older.
bit. It gets now.
This is by far the oldest I've ever been.
It gets 1 year older each year, right? Yes.
I hope not.
And that's how it works.
I don't want to be older than this. I want
Yeah.
to start getting younger.
So some birthdays really hit you with how old they are, and then some feel like a big nothing. Like I remember, I think 31 felt ugh, and then 32 was okay.
When I turned 27, which was not as recent as you might think, based on how youthful my voice
I know
is.
how old you are, so I know that was a long time ago.
I remember my mom saying something about, she was talking to a friend and she said something about how I was about to turn 30. And I was like, hold. I'm just 27. I'm 3 years away from 30. Chill out.
She said that in your earshot?
She told me this.
Diane, that's not cool.
Well, now I'm 20 years older than that. And so now I feel like, based on the precedent my mom has set, I'm about to turn 50. So this is the first age where I feel like I'm I already feel like I'm 50, based on that precedent. It's like if 27 was basically 30, then 47 is basically 50.
But 27 wasn't basically 30. 3 years is a long time.
But looking back at this age, it was. Do you know what I mean? Like 27, the difference between 27 and 30 is just, it's nothing.
I mean, I hear. I'm not trying to be contrarian. I hear what you're saying. Do you think the difference between 25 and 27 is something?
What do you mean?
Is there a difference between 25 and 27?
Yeah, about 2 years.
So less of a difference than 27 and 30.
Yeah, by a year.
I said my age on, I was on the podcast, Stop Podcasting Yourself. And I announced my age at one point because it related to something. And I kind of instantly was like, I wish I could just like take that back. Like, what was the, because I know so many women who aren't, I mean, I think my age is on my Wikipedia
I don't think you're
page.
allowed in the business anymore now.
I was almost tempted to ask them to cut it. But the thing is, I don't hide my age, but I also don't usually parade it out there. But I don't know if I'm making a mistake.
You're not going up for any ingenue roles. It's like, whatever.
Yeah.
The ageism in this business is disgusting.
It's tough when your whole thing is like trying to be real, but then also you are still want to be thought of, as young and et cetera.
People need to understand that everything you think you know about this business is a lie. Like everything that people say about themselves outside, obviously not us. I'm saying in entertainment. Like people are fucking constantly lying about everything. Almost nothing is as it seems. And so it makes people who want to be honest feel like saying your age, when in fact, like a lot of people who say they're younger are older too. Now I get it. Like it's not their fault. The business is sexist.
Right.
It's sexist and ageist. But it's just really frustrating because who cares? We all get older. So what? This obsession with youth is,
it's like
and it even happens in writing staffs. It's not just like actors. It's every level of this stupid business.
I know a male screenwriter who didn't want his age released because the whole industry is like obsessed with youth.
Yeah, like forget trying to start as a writer later in life. They all want the young person, so you have to start in other ways. It's just
it felt like to ask them to remove it felt like it would be a self-protection, and maybe I should have done it. But really, who cares? Really, who was going to hire? What were they going to hire me for anyway? Where they heard a podcast and are like, no
one's hiring you anyway.
I know, that's kind of the sad truth.
No, you're fine. Your brand is honesty, and it's a carefully crafted brand.
But no one is hiring me.
No one's hiring anyone.
Some people are getting hired. It's weird to just for the record regarding the no one's hiring me. I'm also not in a position.
You're not putting yourself out.
I'm
there.
not putting myself out there, but any day I might decide to.
But a certain job might be open soon on daytime talk show.
Oh, I know. I feel like the people who are looking to replace Ellen, they're probably definitely hot on the Alison Rosen trail. Is that what you're talking about?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean hot on the? You mean the producers?
You're not
the people who are vying for the job. I feel like nobody has been, in all honesty, like no one has been put up as a name for that job that actually would be better suited than you.
Oh, you're so sweet.
But you're virtually a nobody, so no one would ever give you that job. But
don't you think they want to discover a nobody though, a nobody like me?
I mean, they picked like Ricki Lake. Who the fuck was Ricki Lake?
When she had been in Hairspray.
But I mean, what was that? It was like
more than I've been in. She was a little more of like a household name.
Hairspray made her a household name?
Yes. I had posters all over my bedroom. Not really.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. All right, look at my IMDb. I feel like I'm like Sally Jesse Raphael. I don't know.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what your problem is? You don't have a doctor in front of your name.
I need to get one.
I
just changed my first name to doctor.
Excuse me. Some of these assholes aren't doctors.
Should I just start calling myself a doctor?
You should be Dr. Allison.
Doctor. Ooh! I like that.
If you started calling yourself Dr. Allison, you would start getting some of the jobs you want.
Honestly, sometimes I think about the fact that I've got a foot in the comedy world, and then I've got a foot in like the self-help world. Who am I? I'm Dr. Allison.
You're Dr. Allison.
But am I funny? Can I do both? Does it work to do both? Does it work to have a Monday show and this is an exception, and a Thursday show in the same personality?
Sure.
This is some navel gazing shit we're doing.
Dr.
right now.
Drew does all sorts of different things, right? He does like medical advice and then whatever.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he is a real doctor, but that's not your point.
No, but here, you'd get criticism for calling yourself a doctor
If I weren't one.
if you weren't one. So here's how you get around it.
Okay.
Doc.
Doc Allison.
Doc.
Yeah. Doc Allison.
And then you're saying, I'm not calling myself a doctor.
just
I'm calling
Doc.
myself a doc.
Yeah, I like it. Or I could just like,
And then you go, what? Is every documentary a doctor? No.
yeah. Yeah, it's for documentarian Alison Rosen. And then
It's
I'm
doc.
also not a documentarian, but that's what it stands
You are
for.
a documentarian.
That's right. I document termites. I
Your
document
life.
webs.
The absolute most boring aspects of a person's life.
I've made interesting.
I've
monetized.
You've made.
Listen, you. I can't help but notice with my documentarian's eye,
Yes.
both of them,
Yes.
that you're a little anti-DA today, Doc Allison. What is going on?
My brain gets scrambled sometimes. Okay. I think sometimes when you get into a certain state, there's like incomplete sentences and fragments of thoughts that don't get completed. My brain gets like scrambled. And I think that's how the show opened. And my brain was just like,
and that's why you're being like gently mean to me?
am I?
Yeah, it's okay.
What did I say that was mean?
You're just, I'm a nobody. No one's hiring me. What else? Oh, those are the ones that jumped out. But, that I document the most boring.
I am being mean.
Yeah, but it's funny.
I'm sorry.
It's funny. You're taking me down a peg. You know what? I'm flying too high. My britches are too big.
I don't think of it. I don't
My
feel
poop
like
doesn't stink.
I recognize that it's mean. It doesn't feel mean because
not-
I don't
it's-
think that it matters.
It's jokingly mean.
Like, I don't think it actually matters that, you're not being considered for the Ellen job. It doesn't matter that you... Like, I think the what I was saying about
You know
how
what?
my brain gets...
You know what?
What?
I'm going to go get the Ellen job.
would-
in your
I would love
face.
it. I'd love a bigger house. I think the stuff about like how my brain gets scrambled, I don't think that's a problem because I think that's it. It's like not something that bothers people who listen. It's only something that I'm trying to. It's like you'll promise something. You'll say like, "Hey, we're going to talk about this," and then you go off over here and you start talking. I'm like, finish the thing that I'm like wanting you to.
What did I not finish?
Well, you get there. You did.
But-
You finished everything. You completed every thought. It's just that in the process, it makes me. I'm sorry.
Get to know me. You married it. You are hosting a show with it.
No, you're
Because
not.
I don't even feel like I was especially... Because sometimes I do start sentences that I don't finish, but I don't feel like I've been especially like that today.
It's normal because you have a lot on your mind and you want to get it all out.
But what's something that I didn't finish? And then we'll move on.
You didn't not finish.
I did. So I finished everything.
Yes, you did. You
And-
told them. Let's detail. You told them where you're sitting.
Ding!
You told them that it's my birthday.
Ding!
You mentioned termites.
Ding!
You recapped the false starts of the show.
Ding! And listen, Tony, normally I would ask you to insert sound effects, but since I'm not, could you refund me for sound effects?
I'm sure there were other things in there.
Ding, ding, ding!
There you go.
Done. We did it.
Sorry, I'm a little bit. I think it's because it's my birthday. I'm feeling edgy, and I'm sorry for taking that out on you.
It's
I'm
okay,
really
honey.
not feeling good about this birthday.
Yeah, why?
It's like, again, I'm feeling older. My body feels older. Like, it's like the amount of work that it takes to get just to normal now is more effort than I've been putting in.
What do you mean normal?
Just feeling like what I would consider my just feeling normal. I don't know, like throughout my life. Just not in super great shape, but just in like
But
normal
you mean
shape.
physically?
Physically,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's just depressing, you know. It's like yesterday I spent the whole day, you know, organizing the garage, which meant like a lot of like lifting heavy boxes, back and forth. So I'm just feeling like sore and achy, man, poor me. But it's just, you know, I'm in that mood. I'm sorry, everybody.
Daniel, it's okay.
You know what I was thinking about this morning? This is what was on my mind. I was thinking the late 70s and the early 80s were like probably the most emo time in American history. So why is it that, so that was the first thought, realization. I was trying to think, was there a more emo, like if you think about all the sitcom theme songs from that era, they're all they're like do 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 do, or baby, if you ever wondered, you know, like wondered whatever became of me. They're just like these kind of like, or MASH, the MASH theme song.
Oh my God, Suicide is Painless.
Suicide is Painless.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why is it that like super emo teens don't fetishize that era? Like, why are they all not dressed? I would think then that they would all have those mop top hairdos and like, and I think it's because people don't recognize. Only if you really lived through that time do you realize that it was just like a very...
I wouldn't have even thought of it as a super emo time.
Yeah, it's not recognized as that, but it totally fucking was. It was like, everyone was just sort of like sad. The sort of, before Reagan, it was the kind of model of masculinity was like Alan Alda, you know, like
I love
emo
him.
guy. Like he's kind of an emo guy.
I mean, I love young Alan Alda.
Yeah.
Old
Or
Alan Alda can get it too.
Yeah, but he was like a man not afraid to show his emotions,
Right.
and people were just sort of, I don't know. I think because we think of that time as being like roller skates and disco and, you know,
Cocaine and
orgies and stuff, but
Yeah.
it was like the movie that got it right was The Ice Storm. The Ice Storm, I fucking
What a
love that
depressing movie.
But that's the thing. It's a movie about wife swapping, right? So you think, oh, it's the 70s, right? It's like bell bottoms and, you know, all the clothes of the 70s, and then it's like they're doing key parties and drugs or whatever. But it's such a sad movie. And you're like, that's it. That was the fucking 70s. It was like all that shit was going on and no one was happy. Everyone was sad. And
no one was happy, everyone was sad, or young Daniel Quantz.
no, I think culturally everyone was sad.
And young Daniel Quantz was sad.
Yes, I'm not, but I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not projecting. I know what you're trying to do,
It's because I'm Doc Allison.
Doc Allison. I know you're trying to make it so that I'm seeing it through my own personal lens. But what I'm saying,
I'm just wondering.
What I'm saying is, if you look at pop culture, it's sad too.
Yeah.
Like, you know, just look at the movies and stuff. It's all like kind of a bummer. And you
Wasn't
know,
Kramer versus Kramer around that time, and
yeah, you know, you had all
Reconcilable
that stuff.
Differences.
Yeah.
But what was going on culturally that created that?
Well, there was an economic, so it was post-Vietnam, and then there was this huge economic, like, what was happening is that inflation was like doubling, tripling, and Carter was in this process of trying to get the country to accept belt tightening, you know, and it's like, you know, and I think crime was on the rise, and like places like New York City were filled with like lots of crime, and then you had, you know, the hostage crisis, and you just had like a lot of indicators that felt like things weren't good. There was a decay, and then there were like lines at the gas station because, you know, not to get all into history,
Sorry, go ahead.
but it's like people had savings back then instead of debt because it was the culture shifted after that. So everybody's savings because of inflation became less valuable. So if you imagine like the dollar suddenly is now worth 50 cents, your savings of $100,000 is now has the buying power of $50,000.
Do you remember? See, this is making me think of. I was just thinking about what was going on in our house during all that time. A little bit later, but I'm gonna use poetic license and include it. And I was remembering the Night Stalker who was in Southern California and how scared we were for a number of nights. Do you have memories of the Night Stalker? That might have been like early to mid 80s.
I only know it in hindsight because it didn't really. People in Arizona weren't afraid of that. But
yeah, so he would attack people in one-story yellow houses by the freeway. And my best friend...
Were they always yellow houses?
I don't know exclusively if that's what he did, but like that was part of the pattern. And my best friend, Brooke, lived either next door to a house that fit that description or across the street. And I was supposed to spend the night.
Oh my God.
And my parents said no. And my memory is that they said no because of the proximity to a one-story yellow house, which like for some reason that maybe they didn't. Maybe they came up with another reason. I really hope they came up with another reason because otherwise it's like you're free to be completely fucked, but our daughter's going to be safe. Like I feel like that's a fuck you, catch you on the flip side,
right.
As opposed to like if you're nervous about it, come to our house or whatever. It's sort of like this is a stretch, but a little bit like in this time and age of COVID, I feel like it's totally okay for me to worry about other people being safe and their status and stuff. But if I tell someone I've been quarantined and then they're still nervous around me, I take that personally.
Right.
Which is so hypocritical. You know, like we've been, like that's been happening. It's just a circle of that, a game of telephone of that between me, my parents, and my sister, all of whom are nervous about it, all of whom want to visit each other, but we only want to visit each other after like there's been all these tests, and then, okay, you've been tested, now you have to quarantine, and now this, and it's like, but I think each person, upon being told that they need to be tested is like, I'm telling you, I'm fine.
Right. I know. It's because everyone's just freaked out. It's like, it's the unknown quantity of the other person. It's just, I don't know. It's not that I don't trust you. It's just that I can't know.
Well, it's like we know what we feel is a risk, but what if someone else thinks, their
idea of a risk.
Are they doing the same things? Like, I don't even go to grocery stores, although I feel, actually, this came up on the podcast where I revealed my age. Stop podcasting yourself. I was saying that I love going to the grocery store, but I haven't this entire time. And they were like, you deserve it. Do it for yourself. I don't know. But I think it's not that unsafe. But at the same time, why take that risk if you don't have to?
That's what it is. There are things that I would do. I would go to the grocery store. I'm probably going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's, whichever is I can morally handle.
I forget. I think Lowe's is better.
I think Lowe's is better.
Yeah.
I'll go to Lowe's. I'll do those things because I'm not actually afraid. I wouldn't do those things if I was. If I really thought I was going to die going there, I wouldn't. A lot of the reason I haven't done any of those things is because that might be what I'm okay with. It might not be what like your folks are okay with.
Yeah.
And so I need to be mindful of their standards. So there's been more of an extreme kind of lockdown mentality just so that we could see some family. Mm-hmm. And I don't actually begrudge anybody the rules that they've set because nobody really knows what the risk is and everybody is just trying to do their best with this fear. So,
Daniel.
Yes.
Last night we were watching The Americans.
Yes, we've finally gotten back to The Americans, which I'm very happy about.
Let's have Tony play TV Time.
TV time, 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 TV time.
Okay, so we started The Americans and we watched it first run in like 2013.
We watched season 1.
Yeah, and then we took a 7-year break. And
We watched season 1 about half of season 2.
Yeah, we're unclear how much of season 2 we've already seen because now we're diving back in.
I feel like
and
it was 10 years
watching
ago.
season 2, and we have no idea what's going on because we have no memory of season 1, but we're pretty much sure, even though we have no idea what's going on, we know that we've seen all of this.
Right.
Everything looks very familiar, and yet we still don't know what's going on, and we refuse to watch season 1 again. I'm just going to go read about it. We will not go. There's
so many things we don't remember.
Drag us back. But I feel like it'd be more enjoyable if we weren't watching an unintended mystery show. But you know what I just realized?
Yes.
We've finally reached the point where we're watching new stuff.
Yes.
Because PredictBot, they know about PredictBot, right? They know. If they listen to the episode, Daniel has a character he does named PredictBot 3000. And he will predict what's going to happen. And then he'll go, I am PredictBot. Now,
We have a lot of fun.
2000. What's the deal with PredictBot 2000?
Okay, so PredictBot 1000 got all his predictions wrong.
Yeah.
So then we had to go back to the drawing board.
board.
PredictBot 2000 got them all right, but it was after.
Right.
So it was useless.
Yeah. Like he was right, but he was
right
just
100% of the time, but
too long.
it was after.
Yeah.
And then PredictBot 3000 gets a lot of them right.
So the other night, PredictBot 1000 made an appearance. And so we know, therefore, that we're watching stuff.
Well, no, what you're saying is, okay, so all of my predictions on episodes we'd already seen, that was PredictBot 2000.
Oh, yeah, I didn't realize. But we still saw PredictBot 1000.
PredictBot 1000 came out.
Because you got something wrong.
That's right.
Now, tell them why you think that we saw PredictBot 1000.
Because PredictBot 3000 needs ice cream.
We ran out of ice cream.
Yeah.
Apparently, that's what Daniel needs. So you bought some more for PredictBot 3000.
I need to cut down on my cholesterol and start getting healthy for reasons mentioned earlier in the episode.
No, can we be honest about the reasons you want to get healthy? Because you've been talking about needing to go to the doctor for like a baseline for the entire time I've known you, and you want to get healthy before you go.
That's not true.
And also, it's a little bit true.
It's actually not true at all.
Okay, tell me.
That hadn't occurred to me. No, actually, I just feel like I said, physically, I'm just in the worst shape of my life. But I'm scared. Like, I'm scared of like having a heart attack or, serious health problems. So I'm getting too old. Like, it's like this realization that I don't have the body that I had when I developed the habits that I have. Like I'm living with habits that were developed when I had a more resilient, more physically fit, healthy body. Like, I could do lots of stuff I just can't do now. So, I just kind of thought, all right, when I hit my birthday this year, that's when I'm going to start that, I'll give myself until then to indulge in some of these things, and then I'll change my habits. And so then I started a little early, and then when I got that wrong,
When PredictBot 1 made his
it
appearance?
was like, oh shit. So I thought, all right, one more pint of ice cream, which I did. I got one more pint of ice cream, and then that's it. And then I'm probably going to do like a fucking diet. I'm going to do one of these fucking diets over here.
And this is your first diet ever?
Yeah. I've done I've done master cleanse, fast, whatever. And I went vegetarian for a number of years. But those aren't really diets per se.
It's kind of a lifestyle program, Daniel.
Yeah, I need to get on a proper diet. You know what a diet is, right? It's just the die with a T over here. Oh.
Who's joined the chat?
Hey, it's me. I'm the Diet King of New Jersey. What's up, everybody? Hey.
Can we tell them what one of my favorite things I've ever heard you say What I overheard you yell at the screen when we were watching The Americans, and then we're going to get to some calls.
Yeah.
Last night, there was some drama between the two characters. Like one of them was clearly upset. And so he was like awake in the middle of the night, sitting at the kitchen table, and she came down and she could tell he was upset. And she's like, "Are you hungry?" I don't know. She was talking so quietly. I'm like, your kids are upstairs. But anyway, then so then she like came over to him to soothe him. And what did you say? Do you remember?
I don't
wrote
remember.
It down.
No.
Less boning, more talking. You're like, no, less boning, more talking.
Yeah, this couple needs to talk more. They bone too much. I mean, look, this couple in The Americans, great show, by the way, if you haven't watched it. It's so fucking good. But, you know, they've been together for, what, at least 20 years, it seems?
Long time, man. It was an arranged marriage. They weren't even like...
And they're hot and
their
heavy.
Spy
a lot of passion, let me tell you.
Oh, is it Diet Guy?
After only a couple years, that passion goes away.
If you even last a couple years.
It is gone. Gone. But then I realized, I think part of the story is that they actually weren't in love, but they kind of are now falling in love for the first time, which would sort of explain that. But
I feel like when you yelled it at the TV at the show, it's because
they genuinely need to.
They
talk
needed
more.
to have. They needed to.
Well,
they need to communicate.
You know,
boning's not going to solve it.
You know, these two people, they need to talk it out because they've got some emotional trials that they need to work through, and boning ain't going to solve them. And by the way, also we're on episode 11
or something.
10 or 11 of season 2. Philip needs to apologize to his fucking daughter for yelling at her. And it's been like an episode and a half now, and he has not apologized, and it is really not sitting well with me.
Daniel, so we're not happy with the way they're parenting their kids. And I should let you know, we don't even I like the boy, but we don't even like their daughter.
I like her. She's the elf queen of Averdale.
She's fine. She's growing on me. She looks like she's 35.
She looks like she's 335. And she's an elf from the magical forest.
She looks like neither of them. And Daniel's right. She looks elven. But anyway.
But by the way, Carrie Russell is very both of them actually in real life, I'm sure, are very
dainty,
delicate people. Yeah. So it would make sense they'd have a daughter like that. So it's not bad casting. It's just that it bumps us a little because there's something yeah, she's either 13 or 1300. You know?
But anyway, it's very much the B story, but for us it's the A story because he yelled at her.
Yeah.
And he has not apologized.
I mean, and he yelled at her. He didn't just go, "Hey, get out of here." No. He was just full rage face.
Yeah, he yelled so ragey in such a ragey way that I can tell he has veneers. I was able to see his gum line.
Trust God, but you don't.
But you don't respect us.
Yeah, it was oh shit, that
felt it, and I said I felt that.
Yeah, we're on a real what's his name, Matthew Reese. We're on a Reese
Witherspoon
feast. Because we're watching Perry Mason and The Americans. I mean, it is all Reese all the time in this house.
That's right. All right, let's hear something. Let's do it. I love when you guys call us. 323.
Yeah, wait, so if he married Reese Witherspoon, it'd be Reese.
Matthew Reese.
No, her name would be Reese.
Yes, it would be. 323-553-2331.
You know what it is when we just watch part of an episode?
What?
Reese's Pieces.
That's good. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Daniel. I hope you have a great day. This is Sarah from Virginia. Just as a reminder, Sarah from Virginia calling to wish Daniel happy birthday. Hope you're having a good day. Bye.
Thanks, Sarah.
I don't think there's a lot of birthday calls. That might be the only one.
You jerks. How dare you forget my... No, I wouldn't expect any.
Hi, Alison. I'm Marlene calling from Oahu, Hawaii. Although I'm actually born and raised in Cerritos, California, so I completely relate to your OC childhood stories. So thank you for that. I'm currently 30 years old, and my boyfriend, who I live with, is 33, and we both absolutely love listening to the show. Anyways, I'm actually calling because I have a random question about Blu-ray distribution and streaming services. My boyfriend has been collecting DVDs and Blu-rays for a long time now, and we have this giant shelf in our apartment that we're actually trying to downsize. And we would switch to streaming movies and TV shows if it were possible to download them offline and have the same, like bonus features that are normally only available on Blu-rays. And yes, I do live for bonus features. I am that person. So my question is, why is it that only Blu-rays can have bonus features and streaming services for them? So why is it that only Blu-rays can have bonus features and streaming services for the most part don't? Are special features becoming obsolete, or do Blu-rays have some sort of secret patent on them? What do you think? And I know this is totally a first world problem, but I thought I'd ask something non-COVID related for once. But anyways, thank you for the show and for always being there in our ears, especially during these times. I don't know what I would do without them. Thanks, Marlene.
Thank you for your call, Marlene. Now, does she know that you work?
I think that's why she's asking.
If not, that's crazy.
Why would someone call you and ask that question?
I don't know, but I like that they think I might know. I know someone who knows, I think.
Well, there's a couple things. First of all, if you have all these DVD, I don't know if this is actually what if this is part of her question, but I know it's not the main thrust. I'll get to that. One thing you can do if you have a shit ton of DVDs is just get one of those Case Logic folders and take them out of the cases, put the discs in there. You can store 100 in one of those things, and then just recycle the cases. And it's a nice way to because you don't get rid of your DVDs. You put a lot of money. There are editions of movies you have that will probably never be released like that, with special features, especially if you like the special features. So, no need to do that. No need to get rid of them. Blu-rays still are great quality, and I still buy Blu-rays. Although, 4K is better, it's still pretty great. And I think Blu-ray is still better than your best streaming resolution. So anyway, the reason why you don't get special features on the streaming services has to do with, I think a lot of it has to do with programming, and it is the way that the business works is that the studios, they have their catalog of movies and they license those movies to the streaming services, but they still sell the movies transactionally through Apple, or Google or wherever, Amazon. So you can still buy those. When you buy those, you will get special features. So if you buy a movie on iTunes, you'll get the special features. When they license to Netflix, they don't want to give it all away. They just give them the movie. And part of that is keeping the premium for themselves for the premium price, right? So it gives you an incentive to buy it because you get more money per transaction on a sell-through, if that makes sense. But so special features aren't going to go away unless transactional, VOD goes away. The truth of it is, special features.
I'm here for the truth. I can handle it.
The special features were only just a way to make people feel like they were getting more for their money.
Oh, well, it worked with Marlene.
I mean, that's why you would see the shittiest movies with director's commentaries and shit, because it was just look, for $14.98, you're not just getting the movie, you're getting all this other stuff, and it's just not something that is necessary with Netflix or Hulu, so they don't do it. There's no incentive.
Now you know.
Now you know. But if you like the special features, go to iTunes. Almost all the movies that I've been buying recently there have special features.
Can I say that if I watch an episode of a TV show and it doesn't include scenes from next week.
Oh, it
I'm
drives me crazy.
very, very unsatisfied.
Even though
You never are able to tell anything from it.
I don't know why. It's like, yeah, it's like a conditioned thing.
Did Mad Men start the super like, what the fuck?
Right.
Scenes from next week?
Where it told you nothing?
Yeah.
Yes.
But it was just like it gave you a feeling.
They go, hey, sit down. Okay. Hey, he what? And then, and then it's just like nothing. In fact, I think a lot of times they'll use them from other episodes.
Yeah.
They're not telling you anything.
We should do one of those at the end of this if we remember.
Okay.
Well, are you done? Because I have something to say.
Did I miss any part of her question?
I don't think so. I feel like you nailed it. And
we should have a segment.
Quant's knowledge. No. What's something that's snappy that
Entertainment business questions corner.
Right, what's something snappy?
Quant's questions on Quest.
Quant's questions quest.
Okay.
And then we'll just go on a quest for questions.
Sure.
If you guys have something snappier, send it in. ARIYNBFshow@gmail.com or tweet at ARIYNBF.
Q's for Q.
Ooh, Q's for Q. Do you remember when you were talking about some companies, Quants?
Yeah,
And-
like in Wall Street, in financial services, there's something called a quant, which is a job. It's like a very sophisticated form of an analyst.
And what did you say, though? You said something like, yeah, they've all got their quants on it. And I was like, are those their versions of you?
Yeah. Their quants there's, yes. I am sort of a quant. I'm not exactly a quant. But I am a quants.
What does it take? What would it take for you to be a quant? Because I'm a doctor now.
I don't know. I mean, I think I'd probably have to go back to school and take statistics and finance and stuff. I mean, what they do is much more sophisticated than what I do. I'm doing like business analysis. I'm doing business analysis, but what they do has a lot to do with like predicting stock market moves and
Are they called is quant the job
yeah,
title?
I think so. I think you're a quant.
QUANT.
That's right. There's probably people out there who could correct me on that or
Quants. Can you correct quants?
yeah. Are there any quants out there? Quants. Ask
Quants on quants.
Tell the quants.
Listen, quants. That's you, not them. All of them. All the quants and all the everyone else's. Recent events have reminded us how important and awesome healthcare professionals are. This time last year, we were cheering for our favorite sports stars. Today, we rightly cheer for nurses, doctors, respiratory specialists, techs, and more. Healthcare providers are the new icons to cheer for, look up to, and be inspired by. FIGS has been cheering for healthcare professionals all along. Their mission is to celebrate healthcare pros and make sure they have the awesome scrubs they need to perform their best. FIGS scrubs are engineered with the innovative functionality found in high-performance athletic apparel. And they also make a ton of stuff that you would be interested in even if you don't work in medicine. Daniel, you have a hoodie that has like a bunch of pockets and is super comfortable and looks really good.
I love it.
I almost bought a lab coat.
Ooh.
Allie Ward also.
Doc Allison needs a lab coat.
I need to head back over to FIGS. FIGS proprietary Fion X fabric features Silvadur, antimicrobial, and four-way stretch technology. It's moisture, wicking, anti-wrinkle, and liquid repellent, and they're ridiculously soft. And now, because I know about FIGS and I'm intimately familiar with FIGS, whenever I see doctors anywhere, either in real life when a friend of mine was having a baby or we were just watching a medical show, I'm like, are those FIGS? Because if it looks good, I always wonder.
I assume it is.
If it's FIGS, that's right. FIGS wants you to wear the scrubs you deserve and enjoy 15% off your first order by using code BESTFRIEND15 at checkout. And if you're not working on the front lines, thank someone that is, because FIGS will give you 15% off too. Head to wearfigs, WEARFIGS.com, and enter code BESTFRIEND15 at checkout. Again, wearfigs, WEARFIGS.com. Enter code BESTFRIEND15 at checkout out. Get ready to love your scrubs. You guys, I'm trying to up my YouTube game. So please go to youtube.com/Alison Rosen. Spelled the way I spell my name. It's intuitive. And subscribe. Just do it. You won't be sorry.
This is part of the eventual migration to YouTube. Everything will be on YouTube.
I don't know if that's true.
Well,
I don't know if that's true. Oh, wait. Do you mean that like every single human being is migrating, or are you predicting my show is migrating to YouTube?
I'm predicting your show.
It'll still be all the other places to get it.
We'll see.
PredictBot.
I just don't want anyone to be left out. So subscribe to YouTube. One day you might wake up and it's all on YouTube.
Are you doing like a commercial where you're planting fear?
I'm trying to use fear more in my persuasion tactics.
Good. Anyway, you don't want to miss out. Go over to YouTube. But I had Melissa Gilbert on the show last week, and that entire video with some Pete did some like Tony produced. I feel like they're going to hear the name Pete and they're going to be like, oh, what about Tony? Don't worry. Tony is still well and good and fine.
Yeah.
Pete did the video. Pete, who filled in for Tony, Pete the retailer, and he put special doodads in it.
And it looks great.
It's like there's special doodads happening.
Doodads are fun.
At a certain point, the Snack Chat drop was played, and I asked him if he could write #Snapchat on the screen so it's clear that it didn't, because I worry that it like looks like it came out of nowhere otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
So he did that, and I feel like that is a fun visual doodad.
I mean,
her husband, Timothy Busfield, pops in for a second. You don't hear that on the audio. You just see it.
If you need a bus fix,
go to Busfield.
Then you can get your Busfield fix fixed.
That's your question.
Yeah, that's what I'm here for.
Thank you. So we were talking last week. I'm going to see if we can talk about this without talking about the thing that we were talking about that led to this. And you said, you were frustrated with me. And you're like, you're too innocent for this world.
Yes.
In a little bit, I feel like it was like a compliment, but you were also like, but it was frustrating you that I could be so naive or innocent.
No, not in a judgmental way, more in
I was like, oh, honey.
No, I meant it more like it's not in any way a bad thing.
Come on, honey, you're too innocent for this world.
Yeah, but it's not a bad thing that in this situation you are. It's like,
let's give a little bit of background. It was about you were thinking that certain people could have done certain things, and I'm like, I don't think so because XYZ.
You just totally did not clear it up.
I know.
I'll put it in a way people can understand. You didn't seem able to understand that people could be devious, and could intentionally be misleading, or lying, and doing something, secretly, covertly to harm, you or someone else. That you were taking what they were saying and how they were presenting themselves at face value. And so I was, and in this particular case, I believed that it was much more possible that these people were bullshitting, that they were full of shit, and that they were actually doing something, and that hadn't occurred to you. And that's why I was saying you're naive, and that's not a bad thing. There's an innocence to not immediately see, like.
My dad has said the same thing about me, and even though he's said plenty of things that hurt my feelings over the years, this was actually not one of them. And when I say it, it's going to sound like it is. It's going to sound like an insult, but I actually understood. I think he said something like, there's a little bit of a piece missing, which sounds so shitty, but it really wasn't. But it was just like, you're not like tuned into that channel that picks up on how like awful people are.
Yeah, like
when it involves me.
I have a really, really good sensor on people who are narcissistic or sociopathic. Like I am very good at identifying a person who's got those particular personality disorders. And so it's wrong to say that I'm cynical. I don't believe all people are, selfishly motivated and doing shit. But I know when I've identified a person who's capable of it. Mm-hmm. And so in this case, we're talking about a person or people who I had already identified as this. And so when you would say, oh, well, they said this or it's like, yeah, but you do understand that could very easily be bullshit, that they could be playing a role to one person. And in fact, in this particular case, it's like, it's possible for someone, this if you watch Real Housewives, it's like two people pretending to be friends when they're with each other and secretly talking tons of shit and working against the person when they're not with that person. Or, like actually actively disliking a person, but then would confide to that person when it suits their interest because they're sort of Machiavellian. And that's kind of the dynamic we were talking about here. Sorry to be cryptic about this, but, it's not important who these people were.
I can be slightly more specific. To just the example would be a couple people teaming up to do something shitty to me. And I was like, I don't think so, because, and we're talking about something that happened a long time ago. I was like, I don't think so, because the people that you're suggesting might have teamed up, they hate each other. They don't like each other. And then you're like, that's when you're like, you're too innocent for this world, because it's like, yes, they might have badmouthed each other to me, but they're like duplicitous people.
Yeah.
So why would you believe that they're actually have integrity?
You're hearing them badmouth the other person, and so you think, well, they would never
team
do
up.
It. But it's like
they would never be work against.
There
me.
are people who badmouth everyone.
Yeah,
but they still have friends. They badmouth all their friends. It's just how they operate, and so it doesn't matter that they badmouth the other person. It's irrelevant.
This is this tangent, but what I was going to say is, like, isn't it weird how even the most horrible people find love? Like, growing up,
do they?
They do.
I don't know about that.
I place such a premium on being a good, decent person, and I saw so many people around me that just weren't good, decent people. And I remember, like I feel like when people fall in love, not that many people are truly looking to find a good, decent person. Like whether the person they found is like decent and good is usually, you might say it's high up on the list, but I don't think it really is.
What do you mean when you say find love, though?
Like they get married or they find a partner. They find a soulmate.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they've found love. That doesn't mean that like they are experiencing any of the things one might call love. Just because someone has a partner.
They find someone who wants to be with them.
Okay, so they found someone who wants to be with them, but they're still fucking miserable. You can't be someone who is incapable of empathy and the kind of generosity of spirit that it would take to be a good person. You can't be someone who doesn't have that capacity and find love. You can't do it at all. You either can do it or you can't. You know what I mean? Like the people that I know who are bad people, let's say, they may have a partner. They're fucking miserable. And their partner is miserable, and they don't have good relationships, and things fall apart, and they're all toxic in every way. You can't be toxic in some ways and not toxic in other ways. You're toxic everywhere.
You're toxic everywhere.
I know.
Hi, Alison and Daniel. This is Penny calling from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I just wanted to say I am loving the Monday podcast as well as the Thursday, but I'm loving the Mondays with Daniel. And I wanted to say, Daniel, I wonder if you could do like a Patreon, a weekly Patreon with you talking about politics, because
I guess, yes, my views do align a lot with yours, but I think you absolutely made me understand why people are not wearing masks. I couldn't get it. It angered me. I was frustrated, and I get it. Not good, but I get it. And I also wanted to say I have a 13-year-old, and yeah, he's annoying. He's suddenly super smart, and he knows everything about the world now. But he's a really good kid. He's fun to hang out with. He has a great sense of humor. He's kind. So far so good. I think boys, are better, lesser drama, I think. I'm crossing my fingers that maybe I'll have a nice teenager. So once again, thank you so much for the podcast, and keep it going. You guys are doing great, and hopefully someday we'll all be able to live some kind of normal life. Thank you.
Well, that's very sweet.
That was nice.
Thank you. I would love to do something like that. I've been all over the place and have not actually. I've talked like I keep teasing things too.
You made Quabi and you never did anything with it.
I know.
Maybe you could roll out Quabi on my Patreon.
No, I've got a plan. I just got to execute it.
Sorry. I don't want to anger your street
But Quabi's
team.
not what she's talking about.
I know, but I'm just saying you've done things.
Yeah. I would like to do that. I don't know if it'll be on Patreon or if I'll. Excuse me, I had to burp.
Do you want to keep that, or you want to let Tony?
You tell me. You're the
excise
producer.
that? Tony, do with it what you feel is necessary.
As far as your son goes, what did she say he was? 13?
Yeah, and that he's annoying and knows everything about the world. But
I
a
think
good kid.
teenagers are like babies who suddenly know a lot of things and also want to have sex with everything. So it's like
Sounds so dangerous.
So once you realize that, then you can have patience with them. Because you wouldn't get mad at a baby who suddenly knows a bunch of things and wants to have sex with everything. Honestly, I look back at being a teenager, honestly, through probably mid-20s, and I'm grateful for everybody who
Didn't have sex with you?
in some cases. No, everyone who tolerated my patronized me.
Humored me?
Because I think there's this thing, as an adult, you'll look at a 14-year-old who just learned a piece of information, and that 14-year-old's going to tell you what's what or what it is. And there's like a temptation to just be, listen, Buck, you don't know fucking jack about what you're talking about, or like you got it wrong, or this and that. And I think that it's important, or they'll have an idea, which is like, kid, I had that idea when I was 15. And, but it's like letting them think it's like this great original idea and not pissing on it is a gift you can give a child, because they will grow out of it and you don't need to do that. Can I tell you some fucking thing that my stepdad used to do to me, which is just like, it makes me mental. I would come home from school, and this is even younger than teen, according to my mom. And I would be like, something I learned, but I'd be wrong. And it would be something that is like super, everyone knows. Like, I don't know any examples. My mom hasn't been able to remember any of them, but it'd be like, George Washington freed the slaves. And then my stepdad would go, I'll bet you $5. Now, it would be something that he knows as an adult, but I wouldn't know. And I'd be like, okay.
Oh.
And then he would prove me wrong, and he would take my $5
I feel like that's not cool. That's not nice. How did that make you feel?
What a fucking dick. Like, I want to fucking kick him in the nuts forever. I want to kick him in the nuts and never stop kicking him in the nuts. That is like such a shitty thing to do. You're just literally taking like $5 when you're a kid is a lot of candy and comic books. Anyway, don't do that. You know, kids, they're learning. They're discovering ideas for the first time. Let them be wrong or let them be silly. You know, I feel like the woman who just called probably is that kind of.
She seems like a nice mom.
She's going to be a good mom. So I'm really just talking to whoever out there. But God, teenagers are knuckleheads. They're just knuckleheads.
Yeah.
But they're babies too. That's the thing. They're like half babies, half knuckleheads. It's like that's what Spider-Man is all about, by the way.
Oh, really?
So Spider-Man is an allegory, when done right and in its original form, about he is a character that represents that tension between being a child and being a man, being a boy and being a man, and the power that you're starting to feel as you become a man, and how exhilarating and scary that is. You know, it's no wonder that he's shooting jizz out of his hand, right? But it's like when you hit that age, there is that weird thing of like half the time I'm an awkward baby who like gets beat up and shoved into lockers, but then half the time I've got these new muscles and I'm strong and I want to like swing from the fucking buildings. And so you got to have patience for this like emerging person, because that's, you know, it's awkward and scary and exciting. I wish I was 16 years old.
Do you?
With my mind now.
You're just feeling your age.
I don't wish I was 16. If I were to go back to an age, well, you know, it's tricky though. It's like, do you go back with all your resources, or do you go back to that time with exactly the way it was?
Well, if it's the latter, no thank you.
Yeah. It's like, in some ways, my life is better than it's ever been, but my body is the worst it's ever been, you know? So it's like, I want the body I had, but the life I have.
Are you so down on your body because you feel sore, or because it doesn't, is it like an outer in or an inner out thing? Like it doesn't feel how you want it to feel, or it doesn't look
well,
how
I'm
you
not
want
as
it to
strong
look?
as I was.
You're still plenty strong.
I'm not. Okay. I'm not a quarter as strong as I used to be. My whole right arm is like my shoulder, and I don't know if I'm getting arthritis or what. Like my elbow, the ligaments in my elbow are constantly sore. My wrist, I think I have like
wristitis.
Well, I have a little bit of carpal tunnel in both of my hands, but like my right side, my right wrist is always like like when I was
You've
lifting.
been doing a ton of drawing. I just wonder if it could be that.
I doubt it. I think it's just been going on for ages, and like lifting boxes, like just just lifting something with my right arm always hurts. So you're just like, what the fuck? I didn't even do anything.
Yeah.
Like if I'm gonna be sore, I want a tail to tell.
Well, you built like 1 million shelves and reorganized the garage.
Yeah. I guess that's a story.
One day you'll tell that tale, honey.
Yeah, to my grandchildren. Let me tell you about the time I reorganized the garage. You wouldn't believe it looking at me.
Or looking at it.
Or looking at it. That's, by the way, oh my God, the garage is like full of stuff. First of all, it's just packed, right? And so for the last few weekends, what I've been doing is like, take it all out and then trying to organize it by stuff we want to give away, stuff we need to throw away, and stuff we want to keep. So that the stuff that we want to throw away and give away is like more accessible, because I want to just start getting rid of it. So you pull it out, and then it was like, okay, the stuff I want to keep, I need to put it into boxes, like plastic bins instead of the cardboard boxes that fall apart.
Do you have a label maker?
No, but I've been printing labels. But anyway, so what's so fucking depressing? So what I did yesterday is I built these shelves, right? So I built these like really good, solid garage shelves all along this wall. And it was like, I was so excited to do it because it's like, oh, this is going to start to feel organized. So I pulled all the shit out. I built these fucking shelves in. And then I started putting these bins in. I started, I got some new bins. I'm doing all this. And what, like half the stuff is still out of the garage at this point, but all the stuff that's on the shelves is on the shelves, and it's like
organized.
It's like, oh, this is looking good. All right. And now I've got to put all this stuff back in that's not going on the shelves. And because it's a volume issue, it looks just as fucking packed as when I started. It looks like I did nothing, except it's got shelves. But it's like, it's so fucking depressing when you do all that work and you're like, oh my God, I still can't walk through the fucking garage.
You can. You just have to turn sideways.
We were going to do a garage sale, and then COVID hit.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to probably take a bunch of shit to Goodwill or wherever, and I don't know. Anyway.
Listen, we love when you leave reviews for this podcast. We love it. It helps out the show. Please do that. Rate, review, subscribe. And we'd like to read a couple on the show. Here we go.
Alison wants your iTunes comments. Alison wants them, yes she does. Please leave her some iTunes comments and don't forget to click 5 stars.
Okay. Love this podcast by NY Marathon Runner. Love everything about this podcast, especially the revolving Thursday gangs. Every group somehow is even better than the last. Have listened to Alison since the Antichrist days. Funny how Corolla shares the same initials as AC. Oh, interesting. Miss Daniel from the Thursday shows. Come back soon, D-Quants on the Snappy. That's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You should come back soon. We got to figure out a way to do it where there's not going to be technical issues with us both zooming from the same room and etc.
It's the Zoom is really the issue. I'll be back at some point.
Someday we won't be using Zoom anymore.
Hopefully.
But we're talking about trying to do a Thursday show reunion with all the old gang, and I feel like you have to join that.
Sure. Yeah.
It's going to be because I've pared back how many people are on the Thursday. Listen, you guys, I need to just share something that's bumping around my head.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel knows. I am thinking maybe of doing more Patreon bonus episodes with the goal being, should I not announce this so soon?
Well, you can announce it if you're planning to do it.
I'm planning to do, well, you know, a lot can happen before you really do things. But I'm thinking of doing an extra bonus episode a week. And then I'm thinking of putting more of my shows on YouTube. I put the Melissa Gilbert one, but I'm going back and forth as to whether to keep the video of the Thursday Gang as a Patreon bonus or to put that on YouTube and focus more on these weekly bonus shows that I would do. And they would probably be shows with me, maybe shows with you, some others too, but like basically shows, it would be gossipy, ask me anything type shows. And I would probably video those and put the video up on Patreon. I don't know. I'm a little bit in between.
Betwixt.
I'm betwixt thither and hither.
Are you thither?
No, I'm betwixt hither and thither.
Oh, you're.
But
wait, so betwixt hither and thither is nither, hither nor thither.
I'm neither hither nor thither. Do you remember? Oh, but leave your comments for us. Thanks. We love it. Do you remember saying that you needed to devise a humane nibbles trap?
Yes. And then so that I can just take her out and release her into the wild.
No, you said you would just release me into the food court.
Well, that would be the wild for nibbles. Yeah, I need a humane nibbles.
But
trap.
what did it relate to? Oh, it was because I said that I had worked my way through the nibbles deterrence on some pizza or something.
Yes. So.
And you're like, oh no, if that's not working so at my behest, if there's food that I don't want to be tempted by, I'll ask Daniel to take like tape and just make it so that it's impossible for me to get into.
I think what I might do is have a ramp into a bucket, and then in the bucket just have a loaf of bread.
Well, that's not good. I'll just eat the bread.
No, yeah, but you won't be able to get out of the bucket.
Yeah, but that's still a lot of bread. You just need to have like a little bit of bread.
Just enough to
like
get nibbles into the bucket, and then I'll yeah.
But the nibblesing is better lately. You know what? No one cares about this. Maybe they do.
They don't.
Maybe they do.
Maybe they do. Well, they
Listen.
care. They care about you, honey.
I know. I think it's that time, Daniel.
What time is that?
The time where we bring this one to a close. Oh, no, I had one more question.
Okay.
What was Quantzercise?
Well, I was thinking I need to boost my my clout on social media, and I was thinking, why don't I start? A lot of people do like fitness videos and things. I could do my own branded version and make some money. You know, because you have. I think I was asking about bar
Oh,
classes.
yeah. You said you
and
wanted to know what Zumba is and what's bar.
Zumba, and I'm like, I feel like these are all just variants of, you know, other things. Like, oh, it's a variant of Pilates, or it's a variant of jazzercise or whatever, and it's like, well, I can just do my own and just do this. It's all the same fucking exercises. I'll just do Quantzercise. But Quantzercise, what it would be is just sitting at your desk talking about exercising, and then you end up not exercising.
Oh.
That's Quantzercise.
You could do that.
That is Quantzercise.
And then I want to
Checking
boost.
Twitter.
I want to boost my brand by selling.
Mine would be like, check Twitter. Okay, make it burn.
I want to sell frozen entrees, like Nibbles branded frozen entrees.
Oh,
I don't know what
would
it
those be?
I don't know. It would be like lately. It would be 2 marshmallows and a pretzel crisp.
Oh my god.
Pretzel crisps are they're flat, thin pretzels, and then like 3 white chocolate chips. It's so good together.
Not
You know
sure.
what it is? It's a blonde s'more.
I'm just not sure that that's going to catch fire. Maybe.
Maybe. Who knows? Listen. Thank you everyone for listening. Please make sure that you're subscribed. Tell your friends, download, tweet. You guys have been great about retweeting the tweets about the show. That makes me, I don't know that it, no, I was going to say I don't know that it helps. It just makes me feel better, but it does help a lot. So many podcasts fighting for your podcast listening ears now. So that is why if you like this show, you got to help by telling people about it. And but you know, you don't got to do anything, but I appreciate when you help. And also sign up for Patreon if you're not already, patreon.com/Alison Rosen. And I'm on cameo.com/Alison Rosen. Listen to Childish. Daniel, what about you?
You can follow me at Daniel Quantz, Twitter and Instagram. And anything else, I'll let you know on those platforms. Let's just say I'm tired of promising something and then not delivering. So let's just stick with that.
Yeah, and follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Alison Rosen. I went live on Instagram yesterday. It was weird. I really enjoyed it.
I keep thinking I'm going to do that, and then I just never have the time to just sit down and go live. I want to. I will.
You know what? You know when you do it when you are ready for something else, and then someone's like, "I'm running late. Can we do it at this time?" Because that's what happened. Is Greg was running. I was getting ready to do Childish, and then Greg was like, "I'm running late. Can we do it at 3:15?" And I'm like, "Okay."
have a
And then
block
I
of
was,
time.
yeah.
Sounds good. I'll
Schedule
forth a
that.
block of time that can be postponed.
All right, you guys. Thank you so much for
Thank
listening.
you.
I love you. Goodbye.
Hey, do you know about the Alison Rosen Show? We had a good time, but now we gotta go. Yeah, Alison Rosen is your new best friend.